discúlpeme.
Oh, no, please.
¿Qué no acostumbra usted a preguntarle a los papás si están
You don't tell or ask the mother when you give a child a fortune
simplemente por buscar unas piedritas en la
looking
playa.
on the beach for stones?
¿Cuál es la palabra?
What is the word for this?
Sea glass.
Vidrio del mar.
No me refiero al nombre de la piedra.
No, not a name for the stones.
Digo la palabra para la acción, para lo que usted hizo.
A name for the action, what you did.
Engreído.
Oh boy, engreído's gonna be rough.
The word Spanglish appeared for the first time in 1952. It was used by Salvatore Tio in a newspaper column characterized by several polemical and satirical articles against Spanglish. The journalist thought that this hybrid represented Cervantes' language deterioration due to the presence of so many English words. If we want to understand the reason why Spanglish develops in the US, we have to go back to the 19th century. In 1848, the US won the war against Mexico, and Mexico lost 2/3 of its territory, and its citizens became American ones. Automatically, English became the language of diplomacy and trade, but people continued using Spanish in their households. Spanglish developed because English and Spanish started borrowing words. Today, Spanglish is a worldwide phenomenon, mainly due to the migrations of Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans to the US. These groups speak their version of Spanish, and consequently, there is not really one Spanglish, but many. For these reasons, Spanish wasn't assimilated into the American society, and also, according to the Instituto Cervantes, by 2050, the United States will be the first Spanish-speaking country in the world. But what is Spanglish? In 1997, the New York Times defined Spanglish as the third language of New York, after English and Spanish. This hybrid cannot be classified as a language because it is neither an official language in some countries nor it is standardized. But we can define Spanglish as a psycholinguistic dialect because it depends on its speaker's verbal behavior, or a porous dialect. In fact, like sponges, Spanglish soaks up English but maintains Spanish structures. Spanglish is characterized by code switching, code mixing, borrowings, and calques. Code switching can be "Yo no estoy de acuerdo con eso, but anyhow, I think I will try again to get it." A code mixing example can be "¿Piensas que mañana we could go to the beach after returning from la casa de mi abuelita?" Meanwhile, borrowings are troque, for example, that means truck in English or camioneta in Spanish, and a calque can be carpeta. Carpeta in Spanish means binder, while in Spanglish it has the English meaning, that is carpet. Spanglish is widely used in the media because Hispanics represent the biggest minority of the US. On television, they can watch Univision and Telemundo, the Spanish-speaking networks, or TV series such as Narcos, that is a Spanglish TV series that tells the story of Pablo Escobar. Among movies, we have to mention Terminator 2, Judgment Day, because there is the most famous Spanglish sentence, "Hasta la vista, baby." Music plays a key role. Before Ricky Martin or Jennifer Lopez, the world danced with the Macarena, and today it is dancing with Despacito by Puerto Rican Luis Fonsi. Spanglish is also used in advertisements and commercials. In fact, for example, McDonald's has a marketing director specialized in the Hispanic market. Ilan Stevens is the most important supporter of Spanglish. He held the only chair of Spanglish in the world at the Amherst College. Thanks to him and his translations, The Quickset, Hamlet, and The Little Prince se vuelven locos y hablan Spanglish. He wanted that these classics to be new and accessible to a different group of readers who deserve them in their own language. But we cannot consider Stevens' translations as the only Spanglish literary work. In the 70s, a group of Puerto Rican authors founded the New Yorkers Poets Café. These authors aimed at enhancing Hispanics' work and protecting what represents their hybrid culture, that is to say, Spanglish. The first Spanglish literary work is thought to be Pollito Chicken, written by the Puerto Rican Vega. The title of the story is very symbolic. In fact, Pollito Chicken is a song that Puerto Rican children sing, and this novel criticizes in a funny way those Puerto Ricans that are ashamed of their origins. We should mention other works such as Como el cristal a romperse, Jojo Boing, How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accents, but the work that examines the linguistic and cultural complexity of living between two languages and two cultures is Tato Laviera's poem, My Graduation Speech. This poem may seem that English and Spanish collide, leaving Latinos without a language. This provokes a sense of discouragement for the author, but at the end he graduates by accepting Spanglish as his language. Because his people speak Spanglish, so he will write in Spanglish. Latinos speak Spanglish because it represents their world. Spanglish is their vision of the world, and it is the perfect summary of a hybrid situation, of an in-between context in which Hispanics live, and it is typical of the United States.